Hi all, I am the CRM Ninja, and tonight I'm joined by a very famous Scottish person, none other than none other than Iain Connolly. Iain, welcome to the show.
Hey, Rai, how are you? Thanks for having me.
An absolute pleasure. I mean, Mark Christie's been on. I had to get the other half of the dynamic duo.
Yeah, like there's always one without the other. It just doesn't work, does it? Like I seem to fly under the seat that his coattails more often than not. So we'll see. We'll see what comes out of this thing.
I have to say, when I saw the recent graphic of you two guys done, I think by Little Artist Row, um,
Yeah.
the first thought that came into my mind was there's a TV show called The Hairy Bikers, which has got nothing to do with biking. I mean, they happen to be bikers, but they're chefs. It's a chef show, and I thought those guys look just so much like. Imagine if they would use like Dynamics and Power Platform and be to a chef show.
The funniest thing is that's what's on in another room. That's what Mother Half's watching just now. Like I like watching them. I feel like I'm akin with them, and that's obviously why, right? It's the whole bearded thing.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a doppelgangers is one thing I find really interesting. I have lots, and I don't know whether it's just the beard or not. But if you Google doppelgangers on a plane, there's two
Okay.
guys that have a beard that ended up sitting next to each other. I feel like I'd be the third person in that weird menage a trois going on there. You should Google it. It's interesting, right?
I will. I will definitely. I mean, I have to take a look now.
Yes, definitely. Like, there's no way you can't not.
Indeed. So, before you share your story, I understand that you enjoy gaming. So, tell us a bit about how you got into gaming, what your favorite games are, what's the best thing about it.
It's probably like not plugging my own podcast, but I had a podcast with John Levesque about it as well. And we are talking about early games. And as a kid, my dad bought me Spectrum Plus.
Oh, wow.
Tiny little one. I've still got it in the loft actually. So that was like my first sort of gaming experience of a computer. And then from there, it was a C6 Commodore 64 and then the Amiga 500.
Wow.
And
Those are
then,
collectibles now, serious collectibles.
yeah, if you still had them, right? The only thing I've still got is that Spectrum, and I think it's only this. I don't even think I've got the power pack for it. It's just the actual hardware.
Ah,
But from there, then moved on to Xbox, and I've just been like a Halo fan, a Gears of War fan,
Master
and
Chief.
yeah, absolutely love Master Chief. Like he is the reason why I bought an Xbox, the very first Xbox ever, and it's the reason why I've stuck with Xbox.
Right.
I toyed with PC gaming, did it a few years ago, and at the moment thought about getting back into it, but just console gaming is just much easier. Uh, not got a few other consoles, got like a Switch.
Okay.
Don't really play it that much. I have it, got it for Mario Kart, but I just don't engage well with Nintendo games. I don't think I much prefer first person type shooter on the Xbox.
Yeah.
I think it's just easier. Or Grand Theft Auto is always a good game as well. But that's probably
GTA is great. I remember when GTA started. See, I'm the opposite. I don't game that much anymore with work and the kids and stuff.
yeah.
But I did PC gaming, and I used to
Okay.
do massive flight simulators and third party shooters. I found I was much more accurate with the keyboard than I was with the joystick or with anything else. I never got the hang of consoles. I was always on the PC.
I tried playing Destiny 2 yesterday on my PC on this. Like I've got the Surface Pro with like the GT 1060 card on it, and I play it. And it
Ooh.
plays really well, but I think I need to get a mouse because using the keyboard and
Yeah.
the mouse pad inside is horrible. So I need to get a mouse and
Oh
try
no,
playing
no,
that again.
you
Right?
need a mouse. You need a mouse.
Yeah, I toyed with connecting up my Xbox controller to it, but I just feel like then I'd be console gaming, I'm not PC gaming. Then I don't benefit the keyboard, right?
Very true. Very true.
Loving your background, by the way. I do need to give like props for that. Makes me
All
feel
I can
very
say is it's totally in
well.
honor of you. I really try and adapt this to whoever is coming on the show. So when I googled Glasgow this evening and I came up with this, and I thought, brilliant.
It's amazing. It makes me laugh so much.
The busy
But
thing is,
yeah,
a couple of years back, we actually went on holiday and we stayed on the outskirts of Glasgow, and we got an Airbnb and stuff. And our host actually asked if we could stay longer because it was the only week in the summer that the sun shone, and she was worried.
it
She was worried that when we left, it would rain, and lo and behold, actually, it did rain the next day.
is the craziest place. Like even today, it was quite sunny. So I'm outside Glasgow as well. I'm like 13 miles outside, to be fair, but more south of Glasgow.
Okay.
Uh, and it's been sunny, but it's freezing you look out saying, oh, it looks like it's going to be a really nice day, and you're like, actually, I still need a jacket. It's too cold.
The way of the weather. So,
Yeah.
what oops factor story do you have to share with us tonight?
So I have a few. I've deleted whole databases. I've downed remote routers. Messed up a whole integration. Done quite a few little bits and pieces of stuff. Like the router one isn't my fault. So for a while I worked as a NOC. I worked in a NOC as a network engineer, Cisco certified and all that. Logged onto a router in the remote. We were doing an upgrade, applying some new firewall configuration stuff to routers in local chemists and stuff like that.
Right.
Applied it, done my reboot, it didn't come back up.
Oh no.
I can't do anything about it. Try phoning the chemist, can't get through to the chemist, can't get through to the place it is. Have to arrange to send a remote engineer. Takes him 2 days to get there because he has to get a boat, a plane, stay overnight, then get a smaller boat to this outer island to boot it up, to just go in and press the power switch to bring it back up. Right, so that's not mine. That's just part of the issue that happens sometimes. But
no, that's true. That does happen. Okay, so what story can you share with us that you learned a lesson from to avoid it happening again?
So this one is probably it's a CRM related one when I was a support engineer.
You were a support engineer?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. We first learned my trade actually doing application support, and then went into CRM and specialised in a CRM. Kind of fell into it accidentally through Mark Christie. I worked for one partner. I worked for a service desk that was oil and gas related, and he worked in a place where it was installing CRM. They were doing CRM 14 11 upgrade, and that's how I met Mark originally. That's how long ago we've known. That's how long we've known each other, but that's how I fell into CRM. But anyway, a few jobs later, was in as a partner doing support and got this whole, we need to have this little, we want to be able to change something on a form from a locked field, but we don't want everybody to be able to do it. So how can we do it? I was like, it's easy. Can use a business rule down there, hide a field somewhere down in the form, give you permission to change that. I'll unlock that field when the business rule changes.
Yeah.
So the field gets locked. Perfect, not a problem. Deployed it. Awesome, great. They done a test on a few accounts. It works fine. That person can see the field. They can tick it. It unlocks other field. They can make the update to the account that they want because it unlocks that. Great.
Okay.
Then used XRM Toolbox to run it in bulk to set the data configuration so that was then flagged for all accounts.
Okay.
So that it was all set for no, so that it was locked, so they could then go in and uncheck it. Because if it was locked, if the flag was locked, they wouldn't be able to update it. If they then changed it, they could update it.
And just by chance, you were doing this against a test or UAT database instance, right?
Sorry, what was that? Yeah, we didn't have that thing, right? No, I'm joking. Yeah. No, so this was done originally in test.
Okay.
When they'd run it against like a few accounts. But what I didn't do in test was the bulk update. I just thought, great, the solution works. It's in. I'll do the bulk update against all accounts and all records. All account records, perfect. And live, it goes in. XRM Toolbox, easy, run it against a view, let it run. Half an hour later, it's done all like the 20, 30,000 accounts, however it was at the time.
Okay. Decent amount of records, especially back in those days.
Exactly. A fair amount of records for a small company that have it connected to Nav. If you don't know what Nav is, it's now what? Business Central.
Yeah, I know what Nav is.
Yep,
don't touch it, but I know what it is.
Yeah, so you'll understand then as well that with Nav and CRM, there's a thing called the Nav connector.
Yes, I've heard of this.
So who owns the Nav connector? What team does it sit with, CRM or Nav?
Nav.
Well, we would think that as CRM consultants, but the Nav team see it as a CRM thing.
Oh, okay.
Admittedly now, it's part of BC, so it's part of Business Central. It's built into there, or I think even in the last version of Nav, it was built into Nav, so therefore that argument was null and void. But at this point in time, it's that in this sort of military zone. It wasn't even in a DMZ, it was in this military zone of everybody was fighting, no, I don't want it, you have it.
Okay.
Anyway, what triggers the updates from nav to pull and push data as an update on a record or a create on a record?
Oh gosh.
So my workflow then runs and pushes all the new account information from CRM to the ERP system.
All 20 to 30,000 records.
Yeah.
Okay, so what effect did that have?
So basically it made, the impact was all the delivery addresses. In Nav, you've got different dimensions in the database and stuff, and you can have lots. You've got a primary address and different sub addresses, delivery addresses. Yeah, it updated all of them to be the main primary address from CRM.
Oh gosh.
So I then had to basically sit with the customer and go through doing manual updates. And this is again when it's on-prem and you could get access to the server.
Yeah.
But this is back in the day when when it was on-prem and you had access to the database and you could access the database and do your select queries. And
yes, very useful.
What updates were, yeah, very, very useful when you need to get to auditing and see what's happened, what things were beforehand, do a bit of comparisons as well as inner and outer joins, to see what tables were and to see where things were and start pulling the data back. So, but we had to change it in CRM to then
to
push
flow
the
through.
data. Yeah, so we didn't. Some of the updates were fine, some of them weren't. So we then had to go through and ratify what needed fixed, what didn't need fixed.
Oh gosh.
And basically I ended up with a massive data cleanse operation, which for a 10-minute change, well, say a half a day change by the time we actually tested it and done it to live, it probably took a week or two to data cleanse properly and get back to what it was.
I have to say, a week or two for tens of thousands of records, checking, comparing, and doing updates is not too bad.
Yeah, I left, so they're probably still fighting it now, right? Nah, but that was a interesting element. That's probably the one that I've learned most from and this now career or where I am and making sure that when you're doing things, you understand what's going off in the background as well, what automation's there.
So the lessons you learn from it really is to see not only what you're actually updating, but what effect it can have.
Yeah, to just test it better, to do even if you're going to do that bulk update, to test it in that part as well.
Right.
To understand more around the ecosystem of what is connected, a bit more understanding the structure, realizing that I suppose we're in a good environment for that even now. CRM obviously is part of the PowerPlatform, part of CDS now.
Yeah.
Whereas previously it was very siloed than what it was. It was a separate product. And unless you had these integration points like the Nav connector or Scribe or something like that, it would never ever connect. But knowing the impact of when an update on an account or record happens, what it actually will then go on and change is quite important.
It is. And even if you had checked it fully, obviously, in your test environment, if they didn't have nav hooked up in that test environment, you would still have never known. So, especially for people on-prem when you're testing, vitally important to have an exact replica of your actual live production system with all the integrations and everything to test against it.
100%. I think that's the one thing. There's definitely a learning point from that I realised is the need to have that replica of live, even if you're only turning the connector on and off for the purpose of testing, even if it's to an email and things like that, you need to make sure that it's there so you can see the full impact. Because even if I had, as you rightly pointed out, done the same update to the same amount of records, Nav connector would never have fired if it wasn't there.
Yeah,
never have found it.
Well, definitely a lesson to learn from that one and an experience. I try and stay away from all the back end systems, BC, F&O, or whatever it's now rebranded to. I stick to front end stuff. It's much safer, I find.
It's a good thing to have in it. For me, it was always something that made you a little bit unique at the point, knowing Business Central or Nav, because there was so many things that connected, especially in Scotland. There's a massive ERP kind of industry up here of building commercial industry. So lots of people have CRM to deal with their quotes and orders, but ERP, F&O or BC is there. That's a massive customer base in Scotland. I know it's not so much down south. Certainly, it's more up here. That's definitely where I cut my teeth within the Dynamics marketplace.
That's actually quite interesting to know.
Yep. It's a weird one. Like certainly from the kind of events that we put on and stuff like that, definitely knowing the client base it comes is more ERP centric. That's where it drives from rather than being CRM centric.
Got it. Wow. There's an interesting fact about Scotland if you didn't know. ERP
Yeah.
people, you could get your fortunes in those hills.
Definitely. There's ERP in them there hills.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Really appreciate your time. Now, you were nominated to appear on here by Mark Christie. So you can't nominate him to appear on the show. It doesn't work like that. Who would you want to see come on and share a story of theirs?
I suddenly realised I was going to say the same sort of comment as Mark did. Who do I know that's either messed up or who do I want to know that? Like, there's no point giving somebody that I don't know anything on or would be interested in that way because it's not leverage. It becomes public knowledge as soon as they're on this, right?
Yeah.
So who have we not had? Do you know what? Matt Collins is always good for a laugh, and he's probably got some belters in there as well. So I'd nominate Matt Collins.
I will speak to him and see if he will agree to come on the show. I'm sure he will. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Thank you once again for your time. We really appreciate it. Viewers, we hope that you've enjoyed this episode and everything that Iain has shared so kindly with us today. We hope that you will also take a look at the other videos available and the interviews and subscribe to the channel. Have a great day.
Cheers. Bye now.